Have you ever had a moment when you found yourself doubting whether there would be enough of something? Enough money, enough food, enough time? Now imagine standing in a crowd of more than 5,000 people, all of them hungry after hours of listening to a teacher so captivating that they won't even go home to eat. That's where this story begins. A story about faith, a lesson on provision, and a miracle that has stood the test of time. The sun was beginning its slow descent over the hills of Galilee. The crowd stretched as far as the eye could see. Men, women, and children, many traveling days just to hear Jesus teach, hung onto every word he said. But as the hours ticked by, the murmurs began. Stomachs were growling. Parents were shushing their restless children. Jesus, noticing the restlessness of the growing crowd, turned to one of his disciples, Philip, and asked a seemingly impossible question. "Where shall we buy bread for all these people to eat?" Philip's eyes widened in panic as he calculated the sheer enormity of the need. 8 months' wages wouldn't buy enough bread for each one to have a bite, he exclaimed. Another disciple, Andrew, approached tentatively. "Here is a boy," he said, gesturing to a young child no older than 10. The boy held out a small cloth bundle. "He has 5 small barley loaves and 2 fish. But how far will they go among so many?" The boy's willingness to offer what little he had was remarkable in itself. Yet what happened next defied logic, defied reason, and left an indelible mark on everyone present. Jesus smiled at the boy, then at the disciples. With calm confidence, he directed everyone to sit down on the grassy hillside in groups. He took the boy's tiny offering, held it to the sky, and prayed, "Father, thank you for what you are about to do." He broke the loaves and the fish into pieces and handed them to the disciples to distribute among the people. Here's the incredible part. As the disciples passed out the food, it didn't run out. They kept reaching into their baskets, and there was always more. It was as though the bread and fish multiplied in their hands. The people ate and ate until they were full. This wasn't barely enough for a snack kind of eating. This was loosen-your-belt Thanksgiving dinner kind of full. And when it was all said and done, Jesus instructed his disciples to collect the leftovers. They gathered 12 baskets full. Yes, you heard that right. More food was left over than they'd started with. The crowd was awestruck. Whispers of, "Is he the prophet? The Messiah?" rippled through the masses. People knew they had witnessed something extraordinary, more than just a meal, but a divine act of provision. So why does this story matter today? It shows us that God can do so much with so little. That boy could have kept his lunch to himself, thinking, "It's not enough to share." Instead, he gave generously, and God used his small gift to bless thousands. It's a reminder that our job is not to see how something can be enough. It's to trust God to make it enough. We all face situations where resources seem scarce and the need seems overwhelming. Maybe it's time, maybe it's energy, maybe it's finances. Whatever it is, this story challenges us to take our little and place it in God's hands, trusting him to make it overflow. Remember, our apparent limitations are just the starting point for God's limitless provision. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I don't have enough," think of the boy with the loaves and fish and ask yourself, what if I put it in God's hands?